You're driving home after a long day. Traffic is bumper to bumper. Your boss sent you a tense email late in the afternoon. You forgot to defrost anything for dinner. And tomorrow's already packed with things you don't want to deal with. Your hands tighten on the steering wheel. You catch yourself clenching your jaw. Your shoulders creep up toward your ears without you noticing. Your breathing gets shallow. And right there, under all that, your lower back is quietly stiffening. It feels almost like it's bracing for impact. You don't even realize it until you get out of the car, stand up, and feel that deep, tight ache in your spine. Sound familiar? Here's the thing nobody tells you. Most of the time, when your lower back is hurting, especially if it's this dull, constant, nagging pain that seems to flare up when life is stressful, it's not actually a physical problem with your lower back. It's your nervous system trying to keep you safe from threats it can't quite tell apart. And unfortunately, that ancient protective system in your brain has no idea that your modern threats are just emails, bills, family arguments, or the relentless ping of your phone notifications. To your brain, stress is stress. And stress means tighten up, stay alert, protect yourself. Hashtag your body's ancient alarm system. To understand how your stress ends up living in your lower back, you have to go back about 100,000 years. Back when your ancestors were scanning the savannah, their brains were constantly on the lookout for real, life-threatening dangers, a rustle in the bushes that might be a lion, a crack of a branch that might mean an enemy tribe. Their nervous systems evolved to respond instantly to these threats. It's called the fight or flight response. Asterisk your heart rate increases, so more blood goes to your muscles. Asterisk your breathing speeds up to flood your system with oxygen. Asterisk your muscles tense up, especially your back muscles, because your spine houses your spinal cord, which is basically your entire electrical system. So your lower back is programmed to lock down at the first sign of danger. It's your body's way of protecting your core, the trunk of your tree. Hashtag the problem with being safe all the time. Fast forward to today. We're not running from lions anymore. But your nervous system didn't get the memo. It still reacts to psychological stress exactly like it would to a tiger jumping out at you. Asterisk an overdue mortgage payment. Asterisk a tense meeting with your boss. Asterisk watching the news before bed and feeling your stomach twist. Your nervous system lights up the same pathways. Your sympathetic system, your fight or flight system, turns on, and your lower back, it automatically contracts to protect your spine. Your body thinks it's shielding you from a mortal threat. Hashtag why you don't even notice it happening. Now here's where it gets sneaky. Because you're not actually running, jumping, or fighting, your body doesn't burn through those stress hormones. They just swirl around in your system, keeping your muscles on edge. Meanwhile, your brain gets used to this level of tension. It starts treating it as your new normal. You might not even be aware that you're walking around with your shoulders up by your ears, your butt muscles squeezed tight, your breath barely moving your ribs. Until one day, maybe while standing at the kitchen sink, maybe bending over to tie your shoes, your back says, "Enough." It spasms, or it just throbs dully for the rest of the day. And you're left wondering, asterisk, why does my back hurt? I didn't even do anything. Asterisk, exactly. You didn't have to do anything. Your stress did it for you. Hashtag stress changes your body chemistry, and your lower back pays the price. Let's get slightly more scientific here, because this part blows most people's minds. When you're under chronic stress, your body produces cortisol, your main stress hormone. Cortisol isn't evil. It helps regulate your energy, your immune system, even helps with memory. But when it stays elevated for too long, it does some nasty things. Asterisk, it makes your muscles more prone to tightness and even microspasms. Asterisk, it reduces blood flow to areas it considers non-essential during crisis, like your lower back muscles and discs. Asterisk, it decreases pain thresholds. So things that wouldn't normally bother you start to register as painful. Ever notice that your back feels more sensitive or flares up more easily when life is overwhelming? That's why your stress isn't just in your head. It's literally rewiring your nervous system and sensitizing your pain pathways. Hashtag the hidden story of your breathing and posture. Now add in one more layer. When you're stressed, your breathing becomes shallow and rapid, mostly in your chest and neck. You stop using your diaphragm. That means your core loses its internal pressure, and your lower back muscles start working overtime to stabilize you. Combine that with your head jutting forward to look at your phone or computer, shoulders slumped, and pelvis tilted from sitting too long. Your spine ends up in a position where your lower back muscles have to constantly fire to keep you upright. This isn't just about bad posture. It's your nervous system telling your muscles to hold on for dear life. Because as far as your subconscious brain is concerned, you're under attack by emails, traffic, or the relentless pace of modern life. Hashtag why this matters, and why stretching alone won't fix it. If you take just one idea from this entire video, let it be this. Your lower back pain from stress isn't a muscle problem. It's a nervous system problem. Asterisk. You can stretch your back all day long. You can mash it with foam rollers. You can get a massage. And sure, it might feel better for a few hours. But unless you convince your brain that it's safe and it can dial down the protective tension, your back will keep locking up. That's why so many people feel like they're on a hamster wheel. Their pain always comes back. Hashtag wrapping up part 1. Setting up a solution. So in this first part, you've seen exactly how stress, whether from work, money, family, or just life piling up, quietly hijacks your lower back. It tenses your muscles, changes your breathing, repositions your entire spine, and keeps your body in a low-level fight or flight state that your back ends up paying the price for. In the next section, we're going to look at the hidden loop between your brain, your emotions, and your back pain. You'll see how your thoughts can literally tighten your muscles and how to start breaking that cycle so your back can finally calm down. Stick around, because what we're about to cover could change the way you think about your back pain forever. How your brain wires itself to expect pain. Think about the last time your lower back really locked up. Maybe you were reaching to load the dishwasher, or standing in line at the store after a long day, or just rolling out of bed. In that split second when the pain hit, your brain recorded every detail. Where you were, how you were moving, what position your spine was in. It stored that entire snapshot of memory as a kind of threat file. Why? Because your brain's number one job is survival. It's constantly scanning your environment and your body for things that might be dangerous. So when your back hurts, even if it's just a muscle spasm and not a true injury, your brain decides, okay, bending forward to pick up a plate might be risky. Let's remember that and tighten up faster next time to protect ourselves. This is called central sensitization. It means your nervous system becomes more sensitive to the same movements or positions that once triggered pain. The threshold gets lower and lower. Small things start setting off big alarms. How fear and anticipation tighten your muscles before you even move. Now add the emotional layer. If your back hurt badly last time you were unloading the groceries, what do you think happens the next time you go to do it? You feel a little twinge of fear. Maybe you brace yourself, literally holding your breath. Your brain starts flooding your system with microdoses of adrenaline just in case this movement is dangerous. Your lower back muscles tense up before you even start moving. That tension changes your mechanics. You might bend awkwardly, avoid using your hips, stiffen through your chest. And ironically, that increases the odds of your back actually hurting. Now your brain learns all over again. See? We were right to be cautious. That movement really is dangerous. The cycle repeats. Your back stays tight, your movements stay guarded, and your nervous system keeps lowering the threshold for when it should sound the pain alarm. The breath connection. How your stress is literally shallow. Remember in part when we talked about how stress changes your breathing? This is one of the most overlooked reasons your lower back stays locked up. When you're relaxed, your breathing is deep and wide. Your diaphragm moves downward, your belly and sides expand, your pelvic floor lengthens. This creates gentle pressure inside your abdominal cavity that naturally stabilizes your spine from the inside out, like an internal airbag. But when you're stressed, your body switches to chest breathing. Your shoulders rise. Your neck tightens. Your lower ribs barely move. Your belly stays pulled in or frozen. Without that diaphragmatic movement, your core cylinder loses internal support. Your lower back muscles sense a lack of stability and tighten up to make up for it. It's like your body is saying, we can't rely on breathing to keep the spine steady, so let's clamp down these lumbar muscles just in case. Posture isn't just mechanical, it's emotional. Now think about your posture during times of stress. Most people unconsciously collapse forward. Their chest caves, shoulders slump, head juts out. This isn't just because of laziness. It's a protective posture, the same way animals curl up when threatened. Other people react the opposite way. They pull their shoulders back rigidly, arch their lower back, and puff up to look more imposing, like an animal making itself look bigger to ward off danger. Both patterns overload the lumbar spine. If you collapse forward, your spine loses its natural curves. Your discs compress unevenly, and small stabilizer muscles around your vertebrae tighten to keep you from crumpling. If you overarch, your facet joints pinch together, and your lower back muscles grip constantly to hold you in that exaggerated position. All of this happens without you consciously thinking about it. Your body is just trying to keep you safe from threats your brain can't distinguish from everyday stressors. Why just relax doesn't work. This is why people who tell you to simply relax your back don't understand how the system works. If your brain still perceives a threat, whether it's emotional stress, fear of movement, or even just a memory of past pain, it's going to keep sending signals to your muscles to tighten up. You can't override this with willpower. It's like telling someone terrified of heights to relax while standing on a cliff. Their nervous system is going to lock them up whether they want it to or not. The hidden reason stretching and massaging fail long term. Now, maybe you've tried to deal with this by stretching your lower back, or maybe you get massages that feel amazing for a few hours. But by the next day, sometimes even by that evening, your lower back feels tight all over again. It's maddening. Here's why. Stretching and massaging only address the muscle level. They don't change the protective signals coming from your brain and nervous system. So what happens? The massage or stretch temporarily tells your nervous system, we're safe. The muscles let go a little. But once your stress levels climb back up, or once your brain sees you bending forward again and remembers that old threat, it sends the same old commands. Tighten up, lock down, protect the spine, and your lower back returns to its tense baseline. A quick thought experiment. Try this right now. Sitting wherever you are, notice your breathing. Is it shallow? Notice your shoulders. Are they slightly raised? Notice your belly. Is it tight or drawn in? Now gently slump forward and see if you can feel your lower back muscles tense even in that collapsed position. This shows how your nervous system, your emotional state, and your muscles are all in constant conversation, even when you're doing something as simple as sitting still. By now, you understand something most people with back pain never learn. Your lower back tension, the stiff muscles, the tight band across your spine, that subtle clench that sometimes turns into outright pain, isn't just about your back. It's about your brain and nervous system deciding your back needs to stay guarded. It's a protective strategy, not a random muscle problem. So why does that matter so much? Because it completely changes how you approach fixing it. Most people only focus on the muscles. They stretch, foam roll, crack their back, press into tender spots, hoping to force the tightness out. And sure, it might feel good for a while. But then, often by the next morning, everything tightens up again. Let's explore exactly why that happens. Because once you understand this piece, you'll see why your current efforts probably aren't giving you lasting relief. And you'll be perfectly set up to learn the real solutions in Part 4. Your body follows your brain, not the other way around. Here's the hard truth. You can't trick your nervous system. If your brain still believes your lower back needs to stay tense to protect you from harm, whether that harm is bending forward, standing too long, or just life stress, it's going to keep sending signals down your spinal cord telling those muscles to tighten up. You can stretch them, you can pound them with a massage gun, but the second you go back to your day and your brain still feels threatened, it's going to flip the switch right back on. It's like your muscles are employees following orders. You can try to get them to slack off, but if the boss, your brain, still says stay on guard, They're going to stay on guard. Why stretching your lower back often makes it worse. Many people, when their back feels tight, immediately bend forward to stretch it out. They hang over their legs in a toe touch. They pull their knees to their chest on the floor. They even do twisting stretches to wring out the tension. And sure, it might feel incredible in the moment. Those muscles let go just a little. You feel a wave of relief. But here's the paradox. If your nervous system is holding your back tight for protection, forcing it to stretch just confirms to your brain that this area is vulnerable. So what happens later? Your brain tightens the back up even more as a countermeasure. It's like it thinks, whoa, we were too exposed there. Better reinforce those muscles so next time they don't give way. This is why so many people say, I stretched my back, felt good for an hour, then it came back even worse. Why foam rolling and massage are only temporary. The same is true for foam rolling and deep massage. These techniques work by temporarily changing the tension in your muscles and fascia. They also flood your body with feel-good signals that reduce pain perception for a little while. But if your underlying threat system is still active, if your brain is still nervous that your spine isn't safe, those tight patterns will return. Because your brain's job isn't to keep you loose. It's to keep you alive. And when it doubts the safety of your spine, it will sacrifice comfort every time. How your nervous system gets stuck on high alert. Let's dive a bit deeper into how stress keeps your body stuck in protection mode. Your nervous system has two main gears: sympathetic, fight or flight. This is your alert, reactive state, designed to help you respond to threats. Parasympathetic, rest and digest. This is your calm, restorative state, where your body does maintenance and healing. Short bursts of sympathetic activity are normal and healthy. That's what helps you jump out of the way of a speeding car or power through a tough work project. But modern life, with its constant emails, traffic jams, money worries, family tensions, and even just the nonstop noise of social media, keeps many people stuck in sympathetic mode all day long. This is sometimes called sympathetic dominance. Your body never fully flips back into rest mode. Your muscles stay slightly tensed. Your breathing stays shallow. Your core stays braced in weird ways. And your lower back becomes one of the prime sites of this protective tension. Your brain's memory of past pain changes everything. If you ever had a major back spasm or injury, this effect is even stronger. Your brain records pain experiences in vivid detail. It remembers how you moved, where you were, and what positions led to trouble. So even long after the tissue has healed, maybe the muscle strain is long gone, your nervous system stays hypersensitive. It keeps those same muscles on higher alert, ready to tighten at the slightest hint of that old pattern. This is why someone might say, my back went out last year bending to pick up laundry. Now, every time I lean forward, I feel my muscles tense before I even finish the motion. That's not weakness. That's your nervous system trying to predict and prevent danger. It's trying to protect you by tightening muscles ahead of time. This is also why your posture is so hard to fix. Lots of people try to fix their back by sitting up straighter or forcing a better posture. They puff their chest up, pull their shoulders back, arch their lower back into an exaggerated curve. But if your brain is still in threat mode, this posture often isn't a relaxed alignment. It's a stiff, rigid bracing that actually increases pressure on your lower back joints. True good posture doesn't come from forcing your muscles into a position. It comes from a nervous system that feels calm and safe enough to let your muscles balance naturally, without unnecessary tension. Why most core strengthening fails people with stress-induced back pain. Maybe someone told you to do planks or crunches to strengthen your core so your lower back stops hurting. But here's the thing. If your core muscles are already gripping all day from stress, if they're bracing out of fear, adding hard bracing exercises on top just reinforces that tension pattern. What you actually need is the ability to relax, and then gently recruit your core so it supports your spine in a balanced way. Most people with stress-induced back pain don't have a weak core. They have an overactive, dysfunctional core that's stuck in partial contraction from chronic stress. The real key, changing the message your brain gets about safety. So here's what all this adds up to. If your nervous system is still reading your lower back as an area that needs constant guarding, either because of chronic stress, old injuries, shallow breathing, or emotional tension. It doesn't matter how much you stretch, massage, foam roll, or strengthen. Your brain will keep telling those muscles, stay tight, keep this area locked down. We're not fully safe yet. The only way to change this is to change the message your nervous system is receiving. You have to show your brain that your spine is supported, that your hips and core can share the load, that it's safe to let go of chronic tension, that you're not in immediate danger, even if life is stressful. Now it's finally time to turn that around, because here's the encouraging truth. If your brain is what keeps telling your lower back to stay tense, then your brain can also learn to stop doing that. It just needs the right input. Let's break down 3 practical ways you can start teaching your nervous system, starting today, that your lower back is safe, stable, and doesn't need to be locked up 24/7. 1. Breathe to calm your threat system and create internal spine support. Most people dramatically underestimate the power of breath. They think it's just about oxygen in, carbon dioxide out. But breathing is one of the fastest ways to talk directly to your nervous system. When you're stressed, you breathe high and shallow. Your shoulders lift, your chest puffs out, but your belly stays frozen. This is a classic fight or flight breath pattern. When you breathe low and wide, letting your belly and lower ribs expand, you stimulate your vagus nerve, the main line that tells your brain you're safe. It literally shifts your body into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Plus, proper belly breathing restores natural pressure inside your core. This canister effect stabilizes your spine from the inside out, so your lower back muscles don't have to overcompensate. Try this right now. Sit or stand comfortably. Place one hand on your chest, the other on your belly. Slowly inhale through your nose for 4 counts, feeling your belly push into your hand while your chest stays relatively still. Exhale gently through your mouth for 6 counts, feeling your belly soften back. Repeat for 8 to 10 slow breaths. Most people are shocked by how hard this is at first. Their bellies barely move. That's because their diaphragm and core have been stuck for years. But keep practicing. Over days and weeks, you'll reteach your body this calm, stable breathing pattern. 2. Use gentle body scanning to lower muscle guarding. Remember how we said your lower back tension is your brain's way of protecting you? So instead of fighting it, you can guide your brain to release it by giving it new, calm input. Body scanning is a technique from pain neuroscience and mindfulness that helps turn off hyperactive muscle guarding. It's not woo-woo. It's a direct way to tell your brain, we're checking each area. It's okay to let go. Try this daily for just a few minutes. Sit or lie down somewhere quiet. Close your eyes. Take 1 slow belly breath to start. Bring your attention to your forehead. Simply notice if it feels tense or relaxed. Then your eyes, your cheeks, your jaw. Let each area soften slightly. Work your way down your neck, shoulders, chest. Notice any tightness without judging it. When you reach your lower back, don't try to force it to relax. Just observe it. Often, the simple act of noticing makes it let go by a few degrees. Continue all the way to your hips, thighs, knees, calves, feet. When your brain senses you're scanning calmly, it stops sending constant protect, protect alarms to your back. Done regularly, this retrains your nervous system to see your own body as a safe place again, not a battleground. 3. Walk slowly and consciously to retrain your movement patterns under calm. You might be thinking, walking? Didn't we already establish walking sometimes flares up my back? Yes, but it only does that when your body's locked in threat mode. When you slow it down and combine it with calm breath and awareness, it becomes a powerful way to retrain your nervous system to move without overguarding. Here's why this works. It gives your hips a chance to move instead of your lower back compensating. It lets your core lightly stabilize through breath, not brute muscle gripping. It shows your brain you can move upright without disaster striking, which rewires old fear patterns. Try this simple reset walk. Stand tall. Take 2 slow belly breaths first. As you begin walking, keep your steps small. Imagine your legs swinging from your hip joints. Your spine stays quietly stacked. Let your arms swing naturally. Every few steps, exhale fully. letting your ribs soften down. Do this for just 5 minutes. Don't rush. The point isn't cardio. It's to show your nervous system there's no danger here. Over time, this rewires your automatic patterns, so your lower back stops clenching every time you walk. Why these 3 tools work together. Here's what you're actually doing with these techniques. Breathing resets your physiological stress dial. It drops cortisol and activates your parasympathetic system. Body scanning communicates safety to your brain, lowering protective muscle tension. Slow walking builds new movement memories, so your brain starts to expect easy, relaxed motion instead of anticipating pain. Together, they send a powerful signal. We're stable. We're supported. We don't need the back to guard anymore. That's how you break the loop we've been talking about for this entire video series. How fast will you see results? Some people feel a change after the first session. Not necessarily that their pain disappears, but that the quality of their tension changes. It feels less sharp, less threatening. Others need a few weeks of steady practice. Remember, your nervous system didn't learn these protective patterns overnight. It took months or years of stress and small signals adding up. So give it time to learn that the world and your body is safer than it thought, bringing it all together. Your back doesn't need to live in fear. If you take just one thing away from this, let it be this. Your back isn't fragile. It's not weak. It's simply trying to protect you the only way it knows how. When your stress levels are high, your breathing is shallow, your mind is tense, and your brain senses threat. Even if it's just emotional, it chooses to lock up your spine. That's a survival strategy. But by breathing deeply, scanning your body with curiosity instead of fear, and moving gently without rushing, you teach your brain that it can stand down, that your back is safe, that it doesn't have to stay clenched forever. Now I'd love to hear from you. Of these 3 methods, deep belly breathing, body scanning, and slow mindful walking, which one are you most excited or maybe nervous to try first? Drop a comment below and let me know. I read every one, and it helps shape the next videos I create. If this opened your eyes, give a like and subscribe, because in our next video, we'll explore simple ways to strengthen your core without triggering more tension, so you can build lasting support for your spine without pushing it into protective overdrive. Thank you for watching, and more importantly, thank you for caring enough about your own body to learn how to calm it, not just force it.